JJ.
And we've got a special guest in studio today, Miss Shayla
we do.
McDaniel.
One of my favorite people, multi-instrumentalist, indie recording artist. Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
Hey, it's Shayla. What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got headphones on?
Yes.
You probably can't hear yourself in your headphones.
Check. Yes, I can.
Cool.
We're good.
Okay, good.
Thank you, guys.
We got it.
Yeah.
So, we have not seen Shayla since we have not spoken with Shayla. It was Zoom. It was via camera because of COVID.
Yes.
In 2020. We're thinking June. It was...
Yeah. I feel like it was the heat of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heat of it. Warm, hot pandemic. We love it. So, but it was a fun interview. We talked about your music, and so now 3 years later, you have been doing so much that we are needing to catch up on. And so we'll be talking to you throughout the show today, and not just...
I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't stop laughing. I'm going to laughing fit right now. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm good.
So anyway, more about that. We went to break. Let's take it to some music, and then we'll come back with Shayla on the other side. We've got to send it back to my co-host with the most, because I have not seen him in like a month and a half, and missed you so much.
Miss you too. Also, want to say the song that we heard right before we went to break was "Smokestack Lady" by the Black Lilies, and obviously kicking it off with the Sunsphere song by Ashton Brown.
The fans were missing it.
I know. I played it last week with DJ Trash Panda. Got to meet him for the first time. So that was a lot of fun.
Super good guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but
yeah,
what
so
what do we want to listen to? What are we playing?
Let's play. We've got new music. There's something queued up in there. Go ahead and play that. We've got new Shayla music. I just don't have it. I don't have it pulled up yet.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've got some Cutthroat Shamrock, some Sinru queued up. We got some 3-Star Revival.
3-Star Revival. I was talking to Ben from 3-Star Revival today.
They're so good.
And we may be seeing he and Cam a couple days before the show at the Bijou coming up.
Oh, word.
In May. So
That'd be
beginning
great.
of May. I think it's the 12th, and we were narrowing down dates. I think that Tuesday is the 9th. So we'll see if we can't get them in. So, so that'll be cool. It was so much fun. Week before last, I had the guys from Southern Cities in studio with us before their album release. Becky Grace, my lovely, lovely friend from 3 Mile Smile, has been playing with Southern Cities, and she's kind of turning into one of those is like she just whatever show you go to, she's up on stage singing with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sort of like Sterling is what I was thinking. Sterling Walsh is the same way, right? You just show up to a show and you're like, oh, I didn't know Sterling was playing with these guys. So,
I know,
right? So anyway, she has been turning me on to some new artists. We've got your buddy, Tyler. What was his name?
Cam Cool released some new music.
Cam Cool released some new music. One of the other guys that I met the night that we were cheering you on for the singer-songwriter.
Drew Jones? Corey James Clifton.
The
big guy.
Yes.
That's all you
Yes, I like my hand shoots up in the sky like a lumberjack. Such a cool dude. And then it's like every time I turn around, I hear that he's playing with somebody else or doing collabing with somebody. And so we want to make sure to get him in studio too. So before he just blows up, we need to make sure that we knew these people back when. We were talking about Disney Plus.
Yeah,
and
Hulu
I was
ESPN
telling
and everything.
Shayla about this one time that my mother, love you, Mom, had she created her own profile on the Disney Plus account, right? And so it's my boyfriend's account. And so I'm logging into Disney Plus one day, and I'm like, who's Cinderella? Right?
Yeah.
And so, and I was like, some long blonde-haired chick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Has just created herself a profile on my boyfriend's Disney Plus. And I was just, and I thought, you know what? Be cool. Be cool. Right? Don't freak out. There, you know, there's a, maybe it's one of his nieces in Jamaica. I don't know, you know, why anybody would want to be Cinderella, but whatever. And so I didn't say anything, but I low-key was just like, who was Cinderella, though, for real?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was easily 6 months later that my mom had logged herself out somehow of one of the apps, couldn't watch Blue Bloods or something. I don't know what happened. And so I said, well, I'll be over there to fix it. And so I went over to her house, and lo and behold, we're talking, and she said something about, I really like that Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, you know what Disney Plus is? And she said, well, yes, I created my own little avatar and everything. I said, you're Cinderella?
That's a good Cinderella to stumble upon.
Yeah. So that was great. Good job, Mom. As I deleted it, I was like, don't. Just don't. Just be the guest, okay? Just be the guest. It's fine.
Did she name it Cinderella too, or just leave the name blank, or what did she do?
No, she named it. I mean, it's something.
Some kind of screen name or something.
Something obscure,
Oh,
like
gosh.
some sort of, I don't know.
To
maybe
make
she
you
was
think, who is
trying
this?
to put in her initials or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't that. And so yeah, it was just like, who's, you know,
That's crazy.
Yeah. Who's Asia, or I don't know. But yeah, so that's what's going on in our house. That's what that looks like. But we were talking about NBA. We were talking about your brother's squad is the Golden State Warriors. Everybody else sort of Lakers.
Yeah, and I was saying it's funny because for someone who really doesn't watch sports, I know a lot about sports. I guess because my family is huge sports people. Outside of like UT, basically, I don't really watch sports.
But we watched our basketball balls and our lady balls.
Oh yeah, and then some of the baseballs. Do they call them baseballs?
Yeah,
or am I making that up.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
the new one. No, that's the new. That's the new
and the softballs, I guess, softball balls. I don't know. I might be making that up. But I was watching our lady ball softball team too. Sometimes when they come on.
I went to way back. It was Monica Abbott.
Oh wow.
Yep.
She was amazing.
She was amazing. She was in some of my very early communication classes when I was first starting out. And she was just graduating, but she was just awesome. And like all Lady Vols, just one of those students that just very academically inclined, comes to class on time, sits in the front, you know, just takes all the notes or whatever. And just an incredible person and athlete as well. But I just found out that, it's been a couple months ago, but I just saw that she was retiring.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought, well, goodness gracious.
Dang.
And I'm still here at UT. Still not, I mean, I graduated, right? But
Yeah.
It's just like the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, end of an era, kind of.
Yeah. Where'd you go to school?
For UT, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to say for undergrad, I haven't gone to grad school, and I don't plan to. No.
You had been thinking about it for a minute, hadn't you?
No, I think you got me confused with somebody else, because I knew, like, I was a decent student. I made good grades and stuff, but I was like, this is not for me. And especially because I didn't know what I was going to do coming in. I was all over the place. I was like, there's no way I'm going to pay to be in school longer. And I don't even know what I want to do after school. Or if I want to, like, go to grad school for something that doesn't even need grad school. You know, I was like, I'm trying to save money and time. Like, I took Maymester accounting to try to save time, which was, man, accounting, what is it, 201, like the first basic accounting in like 3 weeks. That junk was wild. I was in that class from like 9 to 12. That was not a good idea, but I was like, I got to get it over with. I can't deal with this whole semester. And then I took summer school.
And then for the test, they tell you can have like one note card of all the formulas or whatever that you need, and you're like, I don't even know. I need at least 4 note cards.
For real. The good thing is I write small though, so I was able to like make that kind of thing work, you know. And I wasn't as clever as some of these people online nowadays who are like, they'll write microscopically small.
Yes.
And then you bring like a magnifying glass. I'm like, these kids, man, they're so smart.
I was going through, I was thinking of microfiche in my mind because I was at Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Did they have some that you found?
Yeah. So Grandpa would put, that back in the day, he took a lot of professional photos. And,
That's cool.
And he would get them, they would automatically put them on little
the little
Madoodle things. And so and then he had like the little like the microfiche reader or whatever type thing, and you could just stick the little like slide in and flip the little thing up and look through it and see like all these pictures, and then it just blows them up and they're like life size.
That's so cool.
I'm like, wow.
That's so cool. Like, I was cleaning up, I don't know if it was last summer or the summer before, and it had to be found behind a bookshelf or something, but I found some viewfinder discs.
Those are fun.
And when you say microfiche or film, it made me think of that.
Yes.
But there was one that was like, they were all Disney themed. I think one was just like generic dinosaurs, and then another one was like Lion King or something. And I saved them, and I have them in a drawer because my baby cousin, he would enjoy them at his age. And I was like, I've got to find Viewfinder. This would be a great birthday, Christmas present. And it's just so fun. I don't know. It's different. And like, those little things that you get like as a souvenir from like a museum. Well, you don't get them anymore. Like from amusement parks. Like they look like a pencil sharpener kind of thing.
Yes, like
and
a
you
keychain almost.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like one little
and then
thing
you have your
it.
picture.
It's like Niagara Falls or whatever. Yeah.
My dad has one of those from, I forgot what amusement park. I don't even think I'm in the picture. I don't know if it's me and my mom or him and my mom. But microfiche got me thinking about all those little picture things, and I've totally got on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Well, and my thing is, I mean, these days it's all about digital. Okay, so what happens when the power grid completely collapses?
Yes.
Are we not still going to need? Okay, so if we've got all of these backed up to a cloud somewhere, but then
the cloud
dies or whatever, right? Right,
gone.
Fizzles out, right?
Yeah,
struck by lightning, or whatever. What happens?
Yeah, I would hope that our governments have like stuff backed up to paper. Me personally, there was a show on NBC, I think. Ooh, wow. I think way back in 2009, 2010, called like Revolution or something. And basically, did you watch that?
That sounds familiar.
Basically, something happened, some kind of solar flare, some kind of event knocked out all electricity on Earth. So basically, and it was like during current time. So, and there was a character who always carried her, I think she was a mom, carried her phone around because she hadn't printed any of her pictures. Like one day, I'm praying the power comes back on so I can see my kids as they were like 20 years ago.
Right.
So I get all my stuff printed. Like I'll do Sam's Club, Walgreens, whoever's having a special. Shouts out to, I think it's Snapfish maybe, that is having a thing. If you download the app, you get like 100 free prints a month, like just for downloading the app. So surely you're not going to take 100 pictures that you want to print in a month, but hey, it's good to have.
Well, and anymore, I mean, you can get even the inkjet printers, whatever, for under $100. I mean, we're talking like $80 or whatever. At Walmart the other night, I'm like, really? For this printer?
But you gotta watch out for the ink, though. That's where they really get you.
Ink is where they get you.
Because like these
or
prints,
they set you up for those subscriptions, and then like every time you get down to less than like 300 worth of 300 pictures worth of ink or something, it sends you another box, and then it's the only thing on that credit card that you put there is like the $3.22, and then you get a $3.22 late fee because you didn't realize, and so.
That sounds familiar.
Or something like that. Yeah. Like in some sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Where that could happen. Yeah, that's really frustrating. But there again, it's like, the Mayans. I was watching, I geek out over weather anomalies and things like that. And so there was a new one out I was watching about tornadoes and volcanoes.
It's so interesting now.
Super interesting. And then that led me down a little trail to these churches in Ethiopia, 11 churches that were built into this giant rock mountain. And they were built not from the ground up, but from the ground down.
That's hard to imagine.
Yeah, like etched out
That's crazy.
And so, and I'm thinking, well, that's one sure way of telling the next generation, hey, yo, we were here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? Like, when everything turns to AI, right?
That's a whole other scary thing. The singularity is here, man. Elon is up here talking about, as weird and crazy as he is, like, hey, we need to put a pause on this for 6 months. Him and like several other people, isn't like Bill Gates or somebody didn't they sign a petition or something? And I was like, y'all, they're talking about Lambda and Chat GPT and all these having, what is it, glimpses of what did they say? I don't know the term they use, but basically glimpses of iRobot or Terminator is how I heard it. I could be freaking out, but at the same time, sentience, that's the word.
Sentience?
Yes. I'm like, man.
Sentient.
Thank
Sentient.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, like there was. I actually talked about this on this show like 6 months ago,
Ahead of the
but
curve.
there was like, yeah, this was like before Chat GPT. There was like some Google AI that one of the developers leaked. Like basically, he was like he thought it had become sentient because it was basically it was saying things like it was scared to be turned off, and like that it felt like. Yeah, I was just asking a bunch of. It started to like be aware that it was a computer basically.
No.
And like felt trapped and like all this stuff, and like, yeah.
That stuff is crazy. Thank you for coming up with the word, because
Yeah,
I sure was wrong.
Yeah, sentient. It's crazy. I don't know. Like everyone has mixed opinions on it, but I mean we've been making, like, humans have been making content about this for like hundreds of years. Like we've been writing books and making TV shows and movies and drawing pictures about like a future where robots take over, and like
For decades.
I don't know how we like didn't learn the lesson. Like
For real. Like,
we're just walking straight into it.
Well, and there for a while, you see it in movies no matter what the theme, right? So
Yeah.
AI type stuff, yes. But then there for a while, I get all of them confused. 9.5 weeks, 26 weeks, I don't know, 15 weeks, whatever. All the movies that were essentially about some sort of, or The Last of Us,
I
right?
still haven't seen that yet. No spoilers, please.
Okay. But it's like this apocalyptic, world happening, or some sort of pandemic sort of thing, takes over or
Sorry.
whatever.
That was
and
real.
then here we are, right?
Yeah.
Type thing. So I feel definitely like somebody knows more than I do about what's going on.
Yeah, and I was listening to a podcast the other day, or YouTube video. I don't know. It might be YouTube and a podcast thing. It's called the Brandwan Network, and I forgot the name of what they call that series. But a big chunk of the episode was talking about how AI is affecting music. Because obviously there's like these AI apps that can make actual instrumental music. But now, I don't know if it's one app or several that you can be like, hey, I'm going to write this song, make this beat, and I'm going to have Dre rap over it. Or I'm going to have Lil Yachty rap over it. And it believably sounds like some of these people. And it's like, this could be a tool for them. It's like, hey, I'll write the raps, have an assistant rap it as work for hire, and we're good to go. I say my voice for tour or whatever. But at the same time, we've got deep fakes too. Like, with the imagery, like you get somebody who can, like, who has the right body shape or size or whatever, you can have world leaders saying stuff that they never said that could, like, cause war. And, like, the visual deepfakes have been around for a minute, I think, since I found out about it. I'm kind of a nerd. 2017, 2018, YouTube rabbit hole. But now we've got this kind of really good voice technology. It's scary. And this is just stuff that consumers, people like us, can use. Imagine what, like, governments and like people with supercomputers
Right.
can do.
The folks that have had the technology for years and years.
Yeah.
Such that it's finally trickled down to the masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary. I don't like it. Like I said, I saw iRobot and the Terminators, and I don't. Nope.
And that's what keeps you awake.
One of the many things, yes.
So let's talk about your new music, your newest single that you just released, "Awake."
Yeah.
And talk about the lyrics, how it starts out, and tell me about how that came to be and where your sort of mindset is with your music.
So, like, Awake had started kind of two separate pieces. I had been in the studio just writing I had an instrumental that was basically all done except for like a few guitar parts and like the bridge and stuff. And so what I do at that point, because like every song is different. Sometimes I write the music and the lyrics at the same time. Sometimes it's just lyrics and music, whatever. But this was the situation with this song. And I was like, okay, let me go through my notes and see like what I have. And I was just scrolling and it says, and I was like, I'll see something like, this might be able to fit the sound. So I try to sing it and it's like, okay, this doesn't sound right or feel right. Let me try something else. So I stumbled on the first lyrics. I don't know why I don't know why I'm always tired. I sleep all day and I sleep all night. I just want to be awake to live my life. And I was like, this might work with this, and it did. And then I kind of just eventually pieced the rest of the stuff together over like some weeks or days. I don't really remember. But that's how it started. And basically it comes from like taking care of your mental and physical health by getting the sleep that you need. And I deal with depression, and having not enough sleep or having like an unhealthy sleep schedule does not help the situation. But sleep is a very important part to mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And it's really just a reminder to, hey, like, get enough sleep so you can feel truly awake and you won't feel groggy all the time. And basically, that's the theme of it.
Paradigms of mental health have been in your music since you began releasing it.
Basically, yeah.
Officially, I feel
Yeah.
like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so during the pandemic, when last we talked in 2020, it was, well, you had already released Roommate at that time. There's a handful of others, but it was Pick Up the Phone. It was like reach out, talk to people if you need help, sort of thing. So it's very much obvious that whatever you're feeling like in your own world, or whatever that looks like to Shayla, is what is sort of matriculating out in your music. And that's where everybody else is. So, I mean, it's just your music is always right on time.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel good. Because I was like, I remember like telling my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to write some like good love songs and stuff. And my mom was like, Shayla, that's okay. You got to write what you know and write what you do. And you do know love, but like, just do you, boo. And I was like, okay. She didn't say that exactly. I don't remember the conversation, but basically it was like, Mom, I want to write a love song. She was like, just do what you do. It'll work out.
She's like, that's not your lane. Why's that not my lane, Mom? I wanted to be my lane.
And it's funny because I have some songs that sound like love songs, but they are love songs, but they're not the type of love songs you think they are. Inspired by family and friends and stuff. But anyway, mental health is important, and I lost my train of thought. That's okay. But yeah, I just want people to take care of themselves. And like that being said, though, obviously all of my music isn't like super serious, because Awake is not that serious. And actually,
no, it was.
It's really goofy.
Funny.
Yeah, it's goofy, and that's the thing. Like I've learned over time, just period, not just with music, is to like not take myself too seriously, you know. And little shameless plug here. I just put out the music video for Awake today. And it's on YouTube, and I was supposed to put it on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else.
I thought I saw it on Facebook.
I might have done the right thing and posted it or scheduled it or something.
And you put the lyrics. You typed out the lyrics over it.
Oh, that was a lyric video. This one, the thumbnail is corn on a tie-dye background.
Oh, okay.
This one up at midnight, and the good thing was, no, I was not at midnight to. See, I gotta explain myself.
When you were
like,
awake.
These things can be scheduled, so I usually schedule my stuff at midnight. Just
because of the algorithms, is that when?
Honestly, everything is so crazy. I know I have people in Europe who listen just based on my stuff. Not a bunch of people, because people speak English over there too, and then people who speak other language but also speak English, I mean, listen to like indie music, you know. And so it's like 6 a.m. over there, and they're about to get ready for work. So I was like, I want them to be able to hear my videos or music or whatever. But yeah, crap, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's on the YouTube somewhere. But the video is kind of trippy because basically I was trying to convey the feeling of not being truly awake and still being in like that half dream groggy type state. And so it's kind of a trippier video. So that's the route I went with that one, because I had no idea what I was going to do. I was like, wait, the whole thing, like especially in the verses, I feel like there's kind of a weird trippiness to it, or at least that's how I felt when I was writing it and stuff. But yeah, and unfortunately I was actually awake at midnight last night when the thing, because I finished editing it like at 7 o'clock, and then I scheduled it to post on YouTube at midnight. But I went to Five Below yesterday and got some incense, and I was like testing it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna light some incense, and I'm gonna get in a bath and just relax.
Nice.
And like watch YouTube about music business stuff so I can promote my music.
Right.
Listen to that podcast again. That's how it is. But yeah, it was a very relaxing bath with incense and stuff. And funny story about incense in a music festival. So I was volunteering at Rhythm and Blooms a few years ago. And I was assigned artist hospitality, right? Which was so exciting and so cool.
You're like, I get to see so many cool people.
And it was cool because I felt like when I greeted them by name, it's like their faces like lit up, and I was just like, oh, I feel so welcoming, you know. And I didn't fangirl. I was being professional and whatnot. But I was tasked at one point when we were setting up to light incense around the area. I thought the room smelled great already because it was like a new build construction. I think it was in Old City Pack where that building is now, and so it smelled like fresh wood and just that really good freshness. But you know, we needed to set a vibe, and I didn't know how to do it, so I thought I was doing it right. So I lit all the incense in the little things, and I didn't blow it out. So for all the uninitiated incense people, you're supposed to like lightly blow it out so it's just kind of smoldering and glowing and not just like on fire. And I'm like a fully grown woman like doing this. I had just never used it before. I had seen it, but I didn't think, oh, I gotta blow it out. And so like I go around and light like, I don't know, 10, 15 incense sticks. And I get back to the beginning and I'm like, dang, that's going fast. I was like, I hope the smell lasts a while because this is a really big warehouse space. The place was already a vibe. The incense was just extra, but I was like, dang. And then I learned, I don't know what, maybe my brother taught me. I don't know. But I learned, oh, you're supposed to blow it out. Oh, and also never ever wave a match or incense or something on fire because I learned that you can catch your hair on fire. So always just blow whatever it is. Don't ever wave it. Just go a quick little blow, you know. I learned that in high school chemistry because apparently somebody caught their hair on fire.
Oh.
Not in my class. It was just a story that the teacher told us. But yeah, I was awake late. But I ended up falling asleep before 1 o'clock, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's me just trying to look out for mental health and not take myself or other things too seriously.
I was glad to see. Can we, Tyler, if you haven't already, will you cue Awake? And I want to play it here in just a minute, and then
yeah, we gotta go to
break.
Yeah, we gotta go to break.
Okay.
Not trying to put a damper on the conversation.
Sorry,
but I was glad to see that. You lighten the mood a little bit, and I mean the theme, the underlying theme was still there,
yeah,
or whatever. But it was a bit of a joke. It was a little bit of a haha. When I read the lyric video, right? Because I'm like, that's cute. Yeah,
thank you,
that's cute.
Thank you.
I was looking at ShaylaMcDaniel.com. You also are you were on all the platforms.
Yes.
TikTok.
Oh yeah,
oh my gosh.
That's a fun one.
I don't follow you on TikTok.
That's okay.
But what I do love is that you come straight to my email inbox. And it's always like, hey JJ, I've got this new cherub of music. I've got this new cupcake for you of musical goodness. And it's because I signed up. I went
Thank
to
you.
the and is that your Patreon that does that, or who?
That is my website.
That
I think, yeah, that's the website that does that. And email is the best way to reach everybody because you know what happened with MySpace was probably going to happen with everywhere else. So I just shoot you an email whenever I've got new stuff out. And you can sign up for my email list, ShaylaMcDaniel.com. I think on all the pages it might have a sign up thing at the bottom, and I think it has like ShaylaMcDaniel.com like sign up in the menu up there. And if you're on any of the social medias or whatever, or media, excuse me, pet peeve, in my little link in bio thing, there's like a sign up link too. So.
And how did you are, and you're Instagram official. I mean, you've got the whole little, Can we talk about that for just a hot minute?
So it's funny because as soon as they put that little request verification option in account settings, I've been applying and kept getting denied and denied. And then funny how I found out how to do it. So this is before you could pay for it. And so I had seen like a YouTube video. It was like, why are all these scammers getting verified on Instagram? So basically what they were doing, they were uploading music to Spotify. And if you can upload to Spotify, that means you're going to be automatically verified because they don't want people stealing like Taylor Swift's music and pretending to be her. So when they asked you for links, I was like, hey, I'm going to put in my Spotify thing like the scammers have been doing, even though they're not even musicians. They're just trying to get an account to scam people. So I'm putting my Spotify link and some blogs and news articles and that kind of thing and see what happens. And then about a week later, it's like I didn't even notice I had the check until I went to comment on somebody's post. I was like, wait a minute. And so that's what happened. I'm on Spotify, so that's how I got to slip in there.
All certified and authenticated and everything.
Yeah, so that way people don't follow the wrong person because there are other Shayla McDaniels out there.
How many followers do you have? How many followers do you have, give or take, across all the platforms?
Across all of them. I'm just going to start listing them. About 1,500 on Instagram, 2,000 something on TikTok, like 300 on YouTube. So you're on Facebook now. 728 on Facebook. Twitter's like 200. Vine, RIP. I wasn't on there though. But those are the main ones. Twitter, what I said Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then like the YouTube list. Wow, the email list is pretty big too, which is nice because I get to talk to people directly. I have a small SMS text list too if you prefer text instead. Put in your phone number and I'll text you up whenever.
Do you get your texts?
I don't know. Like no, you don't. It's like 3 people right now. I know off the top of my head because like it's 3 people right now, but it's pretty new though. That's why there's not a ton of people. Because I was trying to figure out.
Offended.
I'm sorry.
No, but Hot Toddy and I were talking about earlier. Hot Toddy's in the house, by the way, off in the distance. But he and I were talking about how, depending upon whatever the social media du jour was at the time, you sort of had your biggest ish, whatever it is, that's where all your followers seem to be, right? So there for a time, it was the Facebook page, right? And then Twitter, and then Insta, and then TikTok, and Vine there for a hot minute.
I missed Vine, like
so much fun.
That train,
yeah. And way back in the day in MySpace and so on and so forth.
MySpace, like I wasn't allowed to be on MySpace in middle and high school and stuff. And was it still around in college? I think it was, but it was more a Facebook thing. But like hearing how like marketers talk about MySpace now, I'm like, dang, you could like MySpace was legit. Like you wouldn't even need a website. Like basically you could customize to your heart's content.
Right.
You didn't have to pay for ads for people to see your stuff. It's wild. I remember you
low-key felt like you were kind of a coding genius, right?
Yeah. The CSS and HTML and the JavaScript and all that. I was like, I would have ate that up back in the day.
How many colons? Right? How many colons? Type thing? Okay. Oh, look, it made the font bigger. Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. Computer science.
Hacking the mainframe.
Right. So I peaked. That was my peak of social media, language, whatever, coding. Anyway, but we were talking about your music and how you release it and how artists are releasing it these days and how the last time we had talked, we were right in the middle of pandemic. And so we saw all of these artists releasing their sofa session sort of vibe kind of things on Facebook Live or Instagram Live or whatever, right there from their living room or the backyard, by the fireplace, socially distanced from their 4 closest friends or bandmates or whatever. And we were talking about how that was changing, just changing how artists were releasing not necessarily full-length albums, or even a collection, even the small collection like an EP, that the records were just coming single at a time type thing. And you and I, when we were talking about it, had sort of coined the term cupcake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You were like, I'm releasing like a cupcake a month or whatever. And I'm like, I want to be on the cupcake a month list or whatever.
And you are.
And
Thank you.
and so and I've used that in other artist interviews that I've talked to. I'm like, do you release like cupcakes or do you, and they're like, no, just the banjo or whatever. And so anyhow, but talk about what that looks like for you as you're releasing music. And then I want to get back to the corn, and then how you put this video together for Awake.
Okay. Yeah. So I call it cupcake, like you said, because I try to release more regularly. So I compare it to, like, at that time, I think I was in one a month or every 6 weeks or something. I've kind of stretched it out a little bit to like every 2 months. So there'll be 6 songs a year, like 5 regular ones, so to speak, and then a Christmas song. And basically, I like to see it as, instead of getting one cake once a year on your birthday, you're getting 6 cupcakes, like a cupcake every other month. And me personally, if I had that choice, that's how I would take my birthday cake. But being a grown woman who can drive to the store and just buy cake when I want to, I can do whatever I want. But hypothetically, that's how I would take my birthday cake if that were needed to be done that way.
Right. If that were the only, if
those are the 2 options.
Yes.
Yes, it's like the lottery, like lump sum, or do you want to like take your payouts? I'm taking my payouts.
I think I'll take. Yeah.
Cause like they take taxes, and then like I feel I'm responsible, but at the same time, it's like I like the feeling of money coming in on a regular basis, like every month or year, however they pay out the lottery thing.
Yeah.
But that's just me, and also too, obviously, this releasing more often helps the algorithms, and that's the game we're playing these days with the AI and the algorithms and everything.
Yeah. Zoe Nutt, I was watching.
She's so cool.
I was watching her feed today, and she maybe she was sick or allergies or something. She was resting her voice, and she said, "But I need to put out."
I saw that one.
Did you see that? I need to put out like a song
that's a
a
good
week or
idea.
whatever, because hashtag algorithms, and so I'm just playing along. I'm not actually singing.
Yeah.
And so type thing, and I thought that was hilarious. So, and that seemed like something that you would do, because you geek out over watching podcasts, listening to podcasts about making money in the music business.
Yeah, and marketing and all that stuff.
And you do it all. I mean, you do it.
I kind of have to.
You do it really brilliantly.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does.
An incredible job, I feel like.
Thank you.
I know so many artists, and it's just, and even me myself, I know what I procrastinate on, right?
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it's the and it goes back to anxiety and depression and things like that too. But it's like, there are things that would be so simple if I just sat down and did it, but it seems so monumental that I just put it off and put it off and put it off, and then I just stress about it, to the point where my stomach is eating itself.
Yes.
And then conversely, there are people that handle that anxiety and that depression and sing their way through it, and then also make lists and say, you know what, I'm going to just chip away at it, and I'm going to become the best at all of these things. So I can do it. I can be that one woman, that entrepreneur of my own music career.
Yeah. And it's funny because me and my mom were having that conversation this morning. I was like, Mom, you know what I realized? So like my room is basically plastered with like music stuff, whether it's show posters, band posters, signed articles of CDs or whatever. And of course there's family pictures. And I have this big poster, like if I'm sleeping on my right side, there's this big poster, like, I don't know, 18 by 24 of me and my dad when I was like a toddler. And of course there's a band poster right under there. And I woke up, I said, it just kind of hit me as I was waking up. I was like, I bet all these bands, like, they have help. Especially once you get to a certain level, like they have assistants or marketing team or somebody, or even like smaller bands like myself that's like an actual band. It's like you got 3 guys in the group, you split stuff 3 ways, and that helps tremendously. But with me, it's like I've got my hired musicians for live shows, a mixing mastering engineer, and every now and then a photographer or a designer, But I was telling my mom, I was like, hey, one day I'm going to get to the point where I'll be able to like hire an assistant and pay them well and just like tape all this social media stuff and be like, here, you can edit it and post it for me, or just edit it and put it in the Google Drive and I'll download it. Because like I was thinking of like how much video I'm sitting on. I have like a whole hard drive of stuff, and it's just like waiting to be edited and put it out there. And like my camera has like so many shows on there, and it's like, well, I just gotta put the SD card in there, chop out some full songs, some 1-minute clips, some 30-second clips, some 15, you know what I mean? So it's like, it just needs to be done. And it's funny, you mentioned lists. For the listeners out there, I have this nice little like 500-page notebook that fits in a man's pocket, but not a woman's pocket. There's a whole gripe about that. Basically cursed purses that cause that. But anyway, and I keep notes in there whenever I get ideas for stuff and to-dos. I put them in there. And just recently on Thursday, and of course I have like Google Docs and a huge workbook, I was like, I was listening to a music podcast actually. I forgot what it's called, indie creative music juice or something, I forgot, but they were talking about what tools they use to keep organized, and they mentioned Asana and Slack, both tools I've worked with before, and I was like, maybe I should try that. And obviously I don't need Slack because I don't talk to anybody but myself. Right now, at least. Eventually I'm going to need it, but not right now. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do Asana because like I used to work at a company where they used it and they had the free version. I'm like, a whole company has the free version and we're like operating great. Surely little old me can use the free version and be fine. And so I took Thursday night and got so pumped about setting up all my projects and stuff. I have like a main one that includes like live stuff like wash the bedding, do this, do that. And I have one for music, one for socials that also is marked with music stuff. So it's just so exciting. And it's funny because with the video, I didn't post it natively to Facebook. So you might not see, you won't see it unless you go directly to my page and there's a YouTube link. But when I get home, I will upload it natively to Facebook. And it'll be the vertical version so it fits better on your phone. But I put the task in there on my phone. I was like, hey, let me go ahead and put this in Asana and put the deadline as today. So it'll remind me again, hey, you need to upload this video.
That is tremendous.
But I'm super nerdy like that. And like I can make lists all day long.
Yeah.
But the hard part, as you know, is like actually doing stuff.
Doing the list. But I'm such a tactile. I can put a list in my phone, or I can create a note. I have so many notes, and then once a month I'll go back through my notes or whatever and think like, oh my gosh, that was such a great idea.
Dang.
Or whatever. From 3 years ago. I think. So I definitely, it's something that I need to just have up or constantly, if it's on paper, colored pens for different tasks or whatever. That's more me. So
it's funny because I got this notebook. I didn't know how awesome it would be, and I went back. When did I get this? Let's see the date. I got this August 13th, 2022. And it has like 500 pages in it. And I've got like maybe 100 left. I can't tell.
That's great.
But like it's got all kind of random stuff in it, like from a grocery list to actual to-dos. And there's something here that's highlighted that I was supposed to do. Yeah, so I did that. But like I went back to Dollar Tree a few weeks ago. They didn't have these per se, but this had a cardboard back. Obviously, it's gone now. They had some plastic ones. I'm like, these are perfect. I got like 8 of them.
Or those little moleskin ones that are all
those
fancy
are so
leather,
nice. Yeah.
And then you can just replace the little. I used to. I've got several books like that, but I would put my playlist in, or whoever my weekly guests were on my radio shows, and
nice.
questions or just information about the artist or whatever. So, and then I've got them in a little collection, and then I think, well, what am I supposed to? Should I scan them into the?
That's the dilemma.
Scan them up to the cloud, right? Because then it becomes like we started the conversation with pictures, right? What happens when the cloud is destroyed?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, well, now I've got all this clutter around my house.
Or what happens if like you drop it in the toilet? That's my thing. It's like I like the redundancy of like, oh, if I lose this notebook, I've got it somewhere else. But also this notebook, honestly, I do have some little, what are these called? Like little post-it bookmark signature tab things at the top for like stuff that I either want to like write down in the cloud also. But honestly, this notebook is more like a day-to-day to-do list, basic things kind of deal.
Yeah, that you could just like kind of just trash after a while.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably going to keep it though.
Screenshot, take a picture of what's important.
Yeah.
The most important ones.
Yeah.
And then shred any like personal.
Oh, I don't write anything in there that I wouldn't be afraid of. What's that saying? Like, don't say or write anything you would be afraid to have like on the front page of a newspaper. That's what they used to tell us in school when you post on socials because you didn't want to be like running for office or something.
Have you heard that, Tyler? Hot toddy?
In the school of comms, you should have.
Don't say that. Sounds maybe I was.
I mean, I've
I've
heard people say like don't say anything you wouldn't say in front of your grandmother.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's a good one.
It depends on the context, because like if you're maybe like tweeting something, or like I might follow that rule, but I think there's also like sometimes when you gotta like say things that need to be said, I guess. You know, like be like don't sacrifice like being real in your writing, like just in order to like sound all PC.
My therapist, the thing that stood with me regarding that is my therapist would tell me you don't have to take back what you don't say.
Oh yeah.
So, because therefore I was the queen of zinger text messages.
Ooh, dang.
Right? and it hit me one day. It's just like, you know what? I can say some real just mean, hurtful things. And yeah, I do feel bad about it later. My bad. Right? It's a little late to take back. But how would I feel if somebody sent me, right?
Yeah, one of those.
A hateful text. Well, that doesn't feel good. I'd be afraid to read it. I wouldn't want to open it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to ever be afraid of opening my text message. Or, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, that was a good one. It's like you don't have to take back what you don't say.
Yeah. So none of my passwords or deepest, darkest secrets are in here. You're gonna see that I needed eggs and tortillas one day, or I have to remember, or some TikTok post
it's
ideas.
Show that you're like the queen of breakfast burritos or something.
Actually, okay. I'm sorry. I'm up here making hand motions, y'all. This got me so excited. I'm not going to bury the lead. The lead is there are uncooked, pre-rolled tortillas that they sell at the grocery store. They're by Tortilla Land, but I've noticed that Kroger also has Kroger brand ones. They're flour tortillas. It literally has flour, a little bit of oil, salt, and water in it. And you heat them up on a skillet for like 60 seconds, and until they start to bubble, and
Out
it's
of butter.
Yes, and they're life-changing. But at the beginning of COVID, I was a little bit of a breakfast burrito queen. So I found out the secret to like being able to make your tortillas pliable like they do at the burrito shops. Basically, I got on YouTube and like Googled it, of course. But you put your tortilla in a plastic. I'm sure this probably is not safe because of BPA and all that stuff. But you put your tortillas in a plastic bag and like zip it most of the way, but not all the way. Basically to build steam but not pop the bag. And put it on like a minute, but watch it. As soon as the bag starts to like inflate like pretty big, take it out and kind of shake the bag to see if they're soft and pliable. And of course, before you do this, make sure all your ingredients are done. And then put the ingredients in there, and it's really stretchy and wrappy. And put it in a piece of tinfoil and like to really mush it together. Yeah. And then you've got a good sealed burrito.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry, but yeah, and it's like black beans just hit different when they're with eggs. And
yeah, they do.
Like black beans just hit different than pinto and any other beans anyway. But I love all the beans.
I'm a huge black bean fan.
Like, oh man, I'm gonna have to like make some Mexican food when I get home now, or stop it somewhere. But
and you're a tea drinker. We were talking about tea.
Oh yeah,
hot tea. The power of hot tea is so real.
Man. Yeah. So like peppermint is always, or just not peppermint, but just mint. Period. Whatever kind of mint blend is my just hands down favorite. I'll drink black, I'll drink decaffeinated, I'll drink green with a hint of orange. My friend one time, we were meeting at, it's currently Awaken. At that point, I think it was Remedy. I don't remember who was in the building at the time. But he said, hey, I know you don't drink coffee that much. Like, they've got a really good hibiscus tea. And I was like, huh, like the flower? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's friggin' amazing. But lately, like, what I've done, so Kroger's brand of mint tea is phenomenal. And so I went back to Kroger hoping to get some, and they didn't have some of their own brand. And I was like, this is stupid. So I just got a bunch of peppermint tea brands. And then I went tea crazy that great. I feel like I spent like $30 on tea. I come out of the store with tea and tortillas.
But do you feel like so healthy?
I do.
You're just like, I could be English right now. I am
Pet,
just
pet, cheerio. So I've got my tea in the cart, and it was it, I don't know, I mean, it was Bigelow, I think. And it's like, I think it's called Dreamtime or something. It's in a navy blue box, and basically the tea has peppermint, chamomile.
Yes.
Like, it has like a whole blend. It has hibiscus. It has like 5 or 6 different flavors
that
in
are
there.
all good for that.
The chill, sleep, wind down time. Lavender even, I think. I don't know. It has a bunch, but I drink that stuff during the daytime like it's nobody's business. It's so good. But yeah, I like hot tea, and I've got a kettle, and apparently kettles are not used in England. They use the electric ones. And so like when they see us using the actual kettles, they're like, what the heck? Come on, America.
And we think we're being so
I like
European.
it though. It's a whole experience. Like hearing the little
the
thing.
tea kettle though.
blow
I
the
mean that's
thing.
the I've
That's
got
the
my
song.
little Revereware copper bottom one that Grandpa and Grandma bought me years ago. Like
Oh, wow.
I mean more than 20 years ago.
So yeah, drinking tea with you is a whole experience then for you.
Yeah. Well, so grandma swore. My grandma lived to be 96
Oh wow.
and swore by hot tea and half an orange.
Okay.
Like every day. Or sometimes she'd substitute out the orange for half a grapefruit or whatever. But anyhow, always with her hot tea, occasionally coffee. Grandpa was always like the heavy coffee drinker or whatever, like a marine with it or whatever. It doesn't even need like creamer or caramel or like
The
anything.
fancy stuff.
I love, so every time at Grandma's house, I mean, I would be a hot tea drinker because it's always more fun at Grandma's. And Grandma also peeled my orange, right?
Perfect.
So when you get back home, it's just like there's nobody to peel my orange. There's nobody to drink tea with. Like, what is this even all about? And so, but my significant other, Devin, tea drinker, hot tea drinker. And so he
Nice.
would always make fun of, he's Jamaican, and so it's always you Americans, you Americans never you don't drink tea unless you're sick. And so I'm like, well, that's true because that's when it tastes the most refreshing and delicious is when I'm hurting and I feel like I might die if I don't get this like warm ginger honeyish goodness, right? So anyhow, but no, it's a whole thing, and I'm thinking I need to do this more often. I need to back away from the coffee a little bit, get more herbal tea in my life, more of that ginger tea. Helps with digestion and things anyway. So it just it's so good. All good.
It is. And like speaking of tea, like I've tried to work it into my bedtime routine, but also microwave popcorn has found its way in. So like I'm a huge popcorn fiend. It's okay. So, like, I kid you not. So, I was talking to my mom today, and she said, Shayla, do you ever crave popcorn? I said, Mom, I literally eat it every day, if not, like, multiple times a day. Like, I'll have Skinny Pop. I'll have leftover stuff I popped on the stove. Or in my sweet brother, for Christmas, he got me a popcorn maker. Like, one of the little ones that you put on the counter. I love it.
Well, those are the best kind, because the microwave popcorn is, like... with all the
actually, I found that Kroger brand here, like Kroger, if you're listening, sponsor me or give me some free stuff because I'm up here pumping y'all's pineapple, y'all's teas, y'all tortillas.
Dude, their private reserve is no joke. I mean,
yeah, that stuff is serious because I remember one time I went shopping and I bought some bread because my parents were like, hey, grab some bread. I was like, okay, I'll bring some bread. And my dad was like, oh, Shayla got the fancy stuff. I'm like, Dad, that's Kroger brand. He said, really? I said, but it tastes fancy. And like, it was like got all the wheat and the little, like it's that bread that you could just eat by itself. Good bread. But, microwave popcorn.
But Kroger's popcorn, it's not even private. It's not even their private store.
It literally, it's just like Kroger. It's
blue
like
and white box or yellow and or orange.
I think it has like red, blue, and white. It's Kroger brand. You'll see it. But funny story about that. I said, Mom, can you grab some popcorn when you go to Kroger? I think this is pre-COVID. And she's like, yeah, sure. She's like, I got the 10-pack, but I saw a 24-pack, and I was like, who the heck would get that? And I just kind of looked, and then there is the 24-pack that I bought sitting like with 2 bags left in there.
That's phenomenal.
But all that to say, Kroger, their ingredients, I don't know how true it is, but they're not supposed to lie. On their list, it has like vegetable oil, salts, corn, and then like maybe some sugar or something else. And it's not like any trans fats listed on the thing, even though I found out that you can have trans fats less than 0.5 and they don't have to list it. But they didn't list like any hydrogenated oils or anything. Okay. And also Costco, they have a 44 box. And
we gotta go. You got the Costco membership?
I use my parents.
Okay.
I make sure I go with them.
We got to schedule a trip. We've got just we're down to a minute.
No.
We're down to a minute left before we go to our final break. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Larrabee?
Sorry.
Yeah, we got our last break, and then we can play a song or two to close out the
Let's
night.
play another Shayla McDaniel. What else do we want to hear on the other side of the break? Shayla, thank you, by the way, for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Come back anytime. It's always
you guys
a
are
delight.
awesome.
We could just talk all day about many things. And so, but no, I'm serious about the Costco trip.
Yeah.
Okay.